Welcome back to Anchor Down, Season 2, Episode 12. I'm your host, Ian Larrabee.
And I'm Carter Collins.
This week we've got lots of sports going on locally with high school, as well as, kind of some other seasons coming to an end as well. We can start off with the boys hockey, though. So
They beat Denfeld 6-2 in the game to retire Adam Johnson's jersey. I know I did not make it to that game, but I heard it was a pretty cool tribute to him.
Yeah, I didn't either. We were down at Aiken that night. We lost to Aiken pretty badly, but the boys, I heard it was just a really good game against Denfeld there, and it was home game, and it was that retirement game for the Adam Johnson jersey. So I heard it was just, and I saw it too. It was just crowded in there. It was packed.
Over 3,500 people.
Really?
So, yep, is what I heard. So a lot of people there. So awesome to see the support. And then they did lose 3-7 to Totino last Saturday, but looking to bounce back. They got who are they up? Greenway tonight, which is Tuesday the 12th, and then they take on Proctor on Thursday. So.
Yeah, and they're 4-4 right now. Yep. So 500, doing not terrible, but there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. I did hear though those. I mean, it's a young team. Like they have a couple 9th graders and then a bunch of 10th graders, and it seems though. I mean, those 10th graders, like they're doing well. They're doing good for being as young as they are. Sometimes getting those young kids on varsity. Because varsity, it's usually like juniors and seniors across the state when you're playing teams. So to be able to get kids scoring goals and working up, I mean...
Yeah, the 4 sophomores scored against Denfeld.
Yeah.
So that's pretty good. Right.
So you give them another year or two by the time they're seniors or juniors. I mean, that team, I definitely think it could be something. So just kind of have them keep going. Hopefully, you said the next game tonight. We'll see how that Greenway. How's Greenway this year? Do you know at all?
I don't know. I don't think if they're anything like their football team, they're too good.
Right. Yeah. No, I think it should be a win though tonight. Maybe I'll go watch it if it's if I'm feeling up to it. I might be busy sleeping. Yeah. Then boys basketball. They had a game. Last week against Superior. What day was that?
Thursday.
Thursday.
North Branch on Friday.
The North Branch Friday, right? And those were both losses.
It's tough for them. They're trying. They're playing their hearts out, but it's just not. Again, they're a really young team.
Really young too.
Most of the starters and even guys playing are all freshmen. So
that which is crazy. Freshmen on varsity, like on a sport like basketball, is.
It's just not. Yeah, they're gonna be good down the line. They just gotta. They got a lot of games left, too. They'll get it figured out.
Right. Yeah, kind of getting all those kids to work. I mean, especially trying to get some of those younger kids coming up to be able to know plays, how they work out, and to be able to start working with each other. It's not something that happens in just a week or two. Like, it takes some time. But hopefully they can kind of start picking up the pace a little bit. Get a couple wins here, we'll see.
They got Zimmerman on Friday. And then Hermantown next Tuesday. So a couple of winnable games there.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be good to see. We'll see here how that plays out for them.
Girls basketball, they lost to Superior, and they have Duluth East tonight on the 12th, trying to look for a rebound and pick up a win there.
Yeah, they're that's an away game, right? That
yep,
Duluth
at
East
Duluth
one
East.
At Duluth East. Girls basketball too. I don't know a whole lot about the girls basketball team right now. I know they only do have just a couple seniors, and honestly, it seems like every sport right now in Hibbing is just filled with young people. But it's kind of similar situation to the boys team. They're not doing the greatest right now, but there's a whole lot of room for improvement, and hope to see them kind of coming up and being able to groove a little bit better with each other.
And then take us to wrestling. You want to give a little update there?
Yeah, I suppose. Like I said, so wrestling, we were down in Aiken on last Tuesday. Did not go so well. We did lose. I don't remember what the score was completely, but it was a good bit of a difference. Few good matches. We have a lot of young kids again too, and some of the matches, it's nice to see these young kids kind of really really figuring things out, working their way through. But there's also still just a lot of room for improvement. A lot of work still needs to be done. And then on Saturday we were down in Delano, so we went down Friday night after practice, and then wrestled Saturday. And it's a really good tournament. They have a terrific JV tournament, so it's JV and varsity, and the JV tournament really good. Once again, getting those younger kids exposure and just a lot of time wrestling or any sport, when you get those kids time, it really helps out. And then they like a JV. Some of those kids did pretty well for JV tournament. You get them winning those matches, and it gives you a lot of confidence to move forward. And then varsity, we did okay. Like Cooper's not wrestling right now. Cooper Hendrickson, he got that concussion the other week, so he's not wrestling. And then I was doing good until decided to sprain my ankle in the middle of my match and had to forfeit the rest of them all. That was just terrific to have. And then a couple other kids doing okay. Jaden Perry, he played football, this year, and he first year joining up wrestling. I think maybe he was in it when he was a little kid, elementary, but he did really well for that. When he wrestled varsity in that tournament, he placed, which is pretty cool to see him do as well. Practice partner with him. I wrestle with him all the time, get to whoop him and try and make him a little bit better. And then now we have it's pretty much the biggest tournament of the year for us, other than like sections and state. This weekend it's Friday and Saturday we wrestle, so we leave early AM Friday and then wrestle Friday and Saturday over in Pequot Lakes. There's something like 30 plus teams that'll be there. Just a monstrous tournament. So hopefully we can do pretty well there. I don't know if I'm going to be wrestling in it yet. We'll have to see, but hopefully I can try to make a little recovery here to be able to get in there.
Other news, boys swimming and diving, they have a meet at home tonight on the 12th. There's multiple schools there. I heard 5 or 6 going to be coming.
Yeah.
So good luck to all the
Which
boys
that'll be their
swimming.
second event now, right? They had, I think second, they had the relays last Thursday. Swimming's, like we talked about, swimming, both boys and girls seem to be a pretty consistent sport.
They're always just good. Tyler Foss was always
diving. Yeah, he's a diver.
Diving,
he is. He's just a little hairy menace out there diving. And then last year, Ben Phillips, and then Ben, what's the other Ben's name? I forget his name. Rippinen, and then I think, was there another senior maybe? Cole Hughes. He was a senior last year too, right? Or was he a senior this year?
He would have been last year. He was a diver too, I think. Yeah.
So those, I know all those names there. They all did pretty well. But then this year there's still like Timmy and Luke Poquette and a couple other kids I'm sure that'll end up working it out and doing all right this year, which is, send a couple kids to state for swimming.
That about wraps up high school sports, though, anyway, for us.
Also, though, skiing. I know skiing, I think, is starting up now. Skiing is getting their start. They were a little delayed, probably, with all the snow we did not have. But now Giants Ridge is opened up, and they've got snow. And then we also just finally had some real snow that's looking like it might stay around.
I'm hoping, anyway.
I'm hoping as well. Just makes me frustrated when there's not snow outside. Yeah, Christmas time.
Did we touch on girls hockey too? They got a game this Friday.
Oh, I don't think we did. No.
Yeah,
girls hockey. Who did they play last week?
I don't remember who it was. I saw the score.
Mm-hmm.
It was a close game. I don't remember who it was. But
Cloquet.
Yeah,
that's who it was. Cloquet. Yes. Yep. Yeah, girls hockey. They're doing all right this year. Once again, young team, but they're kind of working. I've watched two of their games now. I think maybe. It's pretty cool to see. We'll say, girls hockey would just be so much better if they allowed them to hit. I'm sorry, but I watch boys hockey, and you get some good hits going, and you get some real entertainment from there. Then it's girls hockey, and there's a girl like got the puck going down, and say, "Oh, just hit her, just check her." And I'm like, I can't do that. They get pretty physical. There's some of them, Heidi Rash. She's not too big. She's kind of smaller, but she just gets physical out there. I love watching. I'll see her give a forearm to someone or run them into the boards. I'm like, that's what I want to see, more of that. But Other than that, no, I think that's about all the sports for Hibbing going on. Really, really kicking off winter sports season, getting all of that stuff pushing ahead, and hopefully everyone's gonna be able to do well. Hopefully injuries also are kind of not happening too much. There's been I know a few kids have been getting some small injuries and things, so hopefully those can kind of go down and just everyone kind of keep playing well and season's going on.
Absolutely. In other news, there's a choir concert next Monday on the 18th. I'll maybe see if I can get around to making that. Go watch a few of the guys singing, but
right, yeah, choir concerts. What they have, there's like 6-7 different choirs always. They have like 15 different levels of it. But some of those choir concerts are pretty cool. The songs that they do and kind of the work that they do. I mean, they put a lot of work into that. And I heard there might be some of them might have some like more like interactive parts. Sometimes they do that with the choir. They have some like interactive singing with it as well, which is pretty cool. So yeah, I might have to go stop by and see that as well.
And then the Lincoln is doing their Deck the Halls. There's going to be a 3 to 4. It starts at 3 o'clock. There's a quiet hour for kind of grandpas and grandmas to go in there, and then it'll open to the general public shortly after 4.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I don't think that we did that when we were there. We didn't, right? Yeah. I was there just last week for wrestling practice. We were over there. And I walked in, I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. The halls were just filled with decorations and Christmas trees and all that. It was really cool to see. So, and I know they're still working on it, so it'll be pretty interesting to see how that goes. It's tomorrow. That'll be tomorrow on Wednesday, so when this comes out, really.
Yep. And then the Lincoln 5th and 6th grade choir and band have a mixed concert on Thursday at 7 p.m. So they're going to kind of get both involved in there for a little
right,
Christmas
and
concert.
That'll be at the auditorium there at Lincoln. 5th and 6th grade choir and band. Yeah, I remember that. Well, good old days back in the Lincoln, right? I was in bands. I've been in bands since 5th grade there, and they don't maybe have the most professional sounding music, but man, watching those kids develop, that's a time when those kids really start kind of developing all of that talent. As well as the Bob Dylan talent show we always used to have. You remember that?
I faintly remember that.
Really? Yeah. Oh, I remember that. I was in it a couple times. I think even Mr. Professional. No, but there were some people like do you know like Annika Jivry? I remember her singing in that and like knowing and like when I was in 5th grade, probably she'd have been like 6th grade. Like listening to her sing, I'm like, golly, like that is impressive right there. And then saying, do you know who Maya Petrosky is?
Yeah.
She's my grade as well, and that was when she kind of started singing and playing the guitar. She made her own songs. She writes like her own songs sometimes too, which is super impressive. So there's some people might not like to listen to little kids belt out, but it can be really cool to see some of those kids for sure.
The Washington also has their Washington Winter Wonderland program at 9:30 on Friday, the 15th. So same kind of thing going on there for them.
Yeah, little kids, little kids singing.
Little kids, yeah.
Those are even better. You get the little kids like looking, singing Jingle Bells and Deck the Halls and all that fun stuff. Gotta love it.
Oh yeah.
And then Friday night, so Friday the 15th, 6 p.m., Stephanie's Dance Shop, they are doing a Toys for Tots performance. So I believe it's, Toys for Tots, they're like trying to fundraise for that to bring a unwrapped gift to donate to that, I believe is kind of like the entry fee in to go see that. I can say I've never seen a dance performance before. But I mean, it's interesting. I'm sure they put a lot of work into that. See what they can do there.
Absolutely. Also, U.S. Steel donated about $61,000 in donations for Hibbing High School and Rock Ridge High School students to get neck protectors for every hockey player.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing, honestly. Seeing that, after obviously everything that happened with Adam Johnson, there was kind of like, globally, really around the hockey world, there's that big talk about like neck guards and should they be required, what ages, because like NHL, professional, nobody really wears that. Nobody really really cares enough. But I know a lot of younger kids. I know a lot of parents in like those younger areas. They make their kids wear them, you know, safety. But even high school, there's not many kids that you see wearing them. But that's pretty cool to be able to have the Mines, you know, donate something to something that's, you know, obviously hit us really close here, and that's a really good cause to give those. So yeah, both the boys and the girls teams, like all the players, are getting neck guards. Like they're like, I think they're like full kind of shirts within like the neck guard Kevlar protector as well there. So yeah, that's pretty cool from U.S. Steel, and that's pretty much about everything that's going on right now around town, with some Christmas stuff going on, and then sports keep moving forward. Next Thursday the 21st, that's our last day of school before Christmas break. So Christmas break is like 22nd of December to the 2nd of, or the 1st, really, through the 1st of January. Because Christmas and New Year's are on Mondays.
But we got to go back on the 2nd this year, on Tuesday.
I know, on a
2nd.
Tuesday.
It's going to be a
Just
weird
give us
adjustment.
the rest of the week off,
That's
honestly.
What I agree.
But yeah. The news talking about some Minnesota sports. We've got the Vikings. How was that game?
That was, I think, quite possibly the most boring game I've ever watched. I think I'd rather watch that Super Bowl from a few years ago.
Oh, that's
where
right, the Patriots.
It's like 13-3.
Yeah, that was a terrible game.
But
you know, oddly enough, I think I have myself and heard other people this year say that was the most boring game all year. So many times, like more times than any other year I can remember, of games that are just terribly boring.
Yeah, it's just a bad year for quarterbacks, especially. Their ratings are so down. It's a defensive year this year, and
really
they're keeping scores just low. There's no games that you're just like jumping off the couch to watch.
I mean, it was 0-0 in that Vikings game until about 2-3 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And Joseph, he missed one field goal, but other than that, it was only punts. It was just punts every down. Maybe a couple turnovers, but
no, we didn't. Vikings didn't turn it over.
Vikings didn't turn it over.
Nope.
Yeah, and then he finally nailed. It was like a 36-yard field goal, I think. Nailed it, and it's like, oh, there you go. And then a couple minutes left, and they got the pick to kind of really just seal it. Zay O'Connell, like, don't really know what he was thinking with that throw.
I don't know what a lot of players in that game were really thinking. There was just some weird.
Yeah, no kidding.
I mean, Josh Dobbs was playing like he was horrified.
Well, I think he was 10 for 23 with like 40 yards, 50 yards, something like that.
It was just one of those games where you're just like, what is he doing? Like, and it really makes you think, like, if Cousins didn't get hurt, like, where we'd be right now, because his play was like
he was really mature. I think he's one of those guys. He's been around for years now, and he just has a lot of knowledge about just where things are going to be going. Where Dobbs threw Jefferson a pass right into that defender and sent him out of the game. First game back, sent him right back to the locker room.
Yeah, and I just don't. Yeah, he had to get transported to that
hospital.
Yeah. I just don't think if we had Cousins, we're only scoring 3 points on the Raiders and 10 on the Bears.
I would agree. Honestly, maybe Dobbs has some beef to pick with Jefferson. Maybe he didn't want him to come back. He thought he'd steal the spotlight, the Pasternaut to Jefferson. Like, I'm just get him in there.
I'm just going to give him a little hospital pass here.
Yeah, other games, weird games, too. There was the Bears that just murdered the Lions, which the Lions are doing well this year, but I'm sorry, when it comes down to it, the Lions are just not good. Like, they understand that they're the Detroit Lions. You can't be a Super Bowl team. You're the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, you can't take Detroit out of the Lions.
Yeah, it's just... right. And then the Bears, they're just weird. The Bears, they're going to be losing the NFC North anyways, but they're still just a strange team, winning games like that.
Yeah, and you can't run from the Packers. Oh, man. Did you see that movie from years ago predicted it? Like, there's a movie from years ago. It's all over, like, TikTok and everything right now. This guy went to someone else in the movie and said, "Did you watch the professional game on Monday night last night?" And the other guy goes, "No." And he goes, "The New York Football Giants kicked the ball through these weird posts and beat the Packers by 2 points."
What?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Really? Man, I'll have to look into that. I did not see anything about that.
It was from, like, the 50s, probably 60s, 70s, somewhere around there. Old movie. And so I guess it was bound to happen.
Yeah, that was, it was 22-21, and they scored that field goal right at the end, and, I really, really had high hopes, and I'm like, I still kind of do, but those Packers are just like 6-7, there's still time. They still play the Vikings again. So they have time to really kind of climb ahead of that. If the Vikings also lose to, I think they play Detroit one more time. They play Detroit one more
They
time.
played Detroit twice.
Or twice. That's right.
They got
haven't played them
Cincinnati
yet.
on Saturday.
Yeah.
Lions, Packers, Lions to finish out their schedule. So
Yeah. Do they play the Bears again?
nope.
They haven't. Yeah.
Because they lost to the Bears 12-10 last time.
That's right. Yeah. So there's still room there. Other games, I'll say too quickly, the Wild. I was gonna say the Wild and the Vikings had the same score games. The Wild beat the Kraken 3-0.
That's just bizarre. That's
So hockey and football game having the same score does not feel right at all. And then the Timberwolves, they lost last night, Monday night, to the Pelicans, like 121 to 100 something.
103, I believe.
Yeah,
somewhere in there.
107 maybe. Yeah. But they're still, those Timberwolves, they're still 17-5. They're still top of the Western, and honestly, they have a better record technically than the Celtics leading the other side. They're 16-5. So they're, a game's a game, right?
Yeah,
One game
right.
here or there is not whatever. If they can keep up the majority of them being in the W column, that'd be really cool to see. We've been saying that. Yeah. Also, I gotta mention the Eagles getting murdered by the Cowboys.
Yep.
I don't know about you, but I dislike the Eagles.
I do, and I hate the Cowboys, but I
Yeah.
can tell you that I now hate the Eagles more because I just liked watching them just get destroyed.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun.
I was watching that. I'm like, yes. And for whatever reason, I love like a lot of the players on the Eagles. Like some really, really talented guys, but I don't like Jalen Hurts, and then I just don't like the Eagles as a team.
No. They're just too full of themselves, I think is what it is. Their attitude. Same with the Seahawks.
Yeah.
DK Metcalf is always getting into a fight with somebody 40 yards downfield. Just
Yeah.
got ejected yet again.
Yeah.
They just remind me of that. They're just
Yeah.
hotheads.
Just
out there.
hotheads. Yeah. So the Vikings have a lot of time left. They still got those games to really prove they can get in the playoffs still and hold what they're at and maybe do better. But quarterback, they're struggling.
That's where it's gonna come down to an iffy.
Yeah, other than that, that's sports going on everywhere, some other events, and I think we'll see you next time on Anchor Down.
For over 25 years, U.S. Bank, located at 211 East Howard Street in Hibbing, Minnesota, has provided office and studio space for Hibbing Public Access Television. We are thankful for their ongoing support.